Kirsten, thank you so much for doing this email breakdown with me. Could you please
Always.
introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, for sure. What up? My name is Kirsten Ebey. I own Path to Summit LLC, which is a people-centric project management firm. What does that mean? A lot of project management focuses on timelines, charters, tools, things like that. And we forget about the people that are actually completing tasks, accountable for the project, managing the project, leading the project. And so when I was completing my thesis for my master's in international administration, I did a thesis on emotional intelligence and how that impacts work cultures positively or negatively and whether or not we could measure it. And so I got hooked. That was in 2016. I got hooked on the research. And when I created my project management firm, I was like, what if I kind of folded in there how we motivate people? What motivates people to do well in delivery of tasks and projects, and what demotivates them? So that's the flavor that we bring to the game at Path to Summit, and that can be in managing projects, coaching executive project leaders, as well as migrating different work management softwares.
Amazing.
That's
I
what we
love
do.
that approach as well because I think it's so easy. I need a process, I need a system, but then you forget about the people that have to, be part of it or use that system. So I love that. And I think it explains the email that you've chosen for us to kind of look at today.
It does.
It
You're
does.
right. It does.
So can you, I'm just bringing it up here. Yeah, tell us a little bit. So I assume, obviously, that you're on Monday's email marketing list because of what you do.
Yes. So Monday is a work management platform, aka project management software, aka, workflow management, whatever you would like to call it these days. So I need to be up on the latest and greatest that's going on with this software. A lot of my clients utilize it. I utilize it, both personally and professionally in the different businesses. And so I thought this would be a good one. And because of what I told you I like about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I did like your summary of why you wanted to kind of look over it. The main ones being, I can't remember your exact words. It's clean and well laid out, I think were the words that you used.
Yes.
And you can see that almost straight
Clean
away.
and well laid out.
Yes. Goals.
I just like
Absolute.
that I know, right? I like that I can look at this and consume it in like 10 seconds
Yeah. Yes.
or
Because
less.
and straight away, because the thing when you said clean and well laid out, I'm like, the first thing I think you see, which is this is an odd thing to say, but is all the white space that they have. Like there's so much space around the email. Like you almost see that before you see all the copy, which I think is really a good way to approach design of these.
Mhm. No, for sure.
And then I'm a big fan of this header as well. Lead with confidence, scale with control, because I feel like it's quite empowering and emotional, which is what we really want. But then scale with control. And then I guess this is aimed at like founders and project managers. And yeah, we all want that control as well. Like, I think it plays really well into kind of their target audience.
Yeah, this is definitely, it has to be targeted for decision makers because they're talking about enterprise, which is the most expensive and latest and greatest, you get everything plan, right?
Yeah. So they have to be really, speaking to those people. And quite clever in that first sentence there, they've got your name. So they've got obviously using their personalization straight off the bat.
Also love the confidence of like just Kirsten, comma,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. Not
Yeah.
a like, hi, so and so.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think it's a good,
I might take that.
because I feel like sometimes when you have the hi or the dear or whatever that kind of like the greeting is, that's when it becomes really obvious that someone's just used a merge tag, someone like, and I get it, like it works in some ways, like if you were doing like a plain text email and it was an outreach thing,
Mhm.
but this is obvious, like very obviously a marketing email. So yeah, they kind of have
Mhm.
to use the personalization without, and like you say, they're talking to the decision maker. They're not like trying to be
Mhm.
best friends. So I think you're right. It does show a degree of confidence of kind of just going straight in with your name.
I might
Yes.
try that.
Yeah. Yeah, you should. I like, yeah. And that's one of my questions actually, is this kind of, yeah, like you said, you'd like the clean and like well laid out. Is it kind of like the email that you would love to be sending?
Totally. Totally. I sent this to Lawrence. Lawrence is like my right-hand person at Path. And I was like, look at this beautiful email. And he and I jump in our call and he's like, this is awesome. I was like, let's do this. Let's do this for our upcoming webinar send and whatever, right? So we're working on it.
I love that. And a lot of people, it's always one of the things I say, because a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know how to, like, I don't know how to, like, what I want it to look like. I don't know how I should write, all of this. And I think some of that comes down to your own branding and your own tone of voice. But also, like, one of the
Sure.
easiest things you can do is you can pick up emails from your own inbox, like, so easily. Like, I've got so many, and I know it's because of what I do, but it's got so many folders. Like, these are welcome emails I like. These are abandoned cart emails I like. Like, every single type of email. I'm like, if you just kind of bookmark it so that when you need to and kind of go, okay, well, this is the style that kind of got me excited, got me interested, you can then use that as inspiration. So yeah, definitely.
Vicky, stop. That is so smart. Because then when you're creating your own, right, you can just go into these like, you can even make just one little folder that's like email examples. And you can see the ones that you like. What did you like about them? So on and so forth. Like you can even comment on it or whatever. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
that's so smart.
Exactly what you did by passing it on to someone on your team, going, this is what we need to be doing. Because then also everybody's kind of like on the same page. Because I think most like, and the reason I'm always saying just start a folder, bookmark all the ones you want is, yeah, I think half the battle is people just, and I think we've discussed this before, like just you need to go and do it. So like if you're forever thinking, oh, I need to come up with some crazy new idea, yeah, you might eventually, but you've got to get started somewhere. And like, email's so weird in that like there's not actually great deals you can do. Like, there's only certain amount of fonts, and you've got to
Hmm.
get it to display right on different devices. So you're quite restrained in that. Actually, if you find something like this that you
Hmm.
can like emulate, it's a really good starting place. Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Fab.
Right?
So then if we go
I
down
love it.
to, I think this is quite clever. Now, I'm not sure, were these centered in the
Hmm.
original email? I'm not sure if it's just gone left aligned because you sent it over
They
to
were
me.
centered.
They were centered. I
They were
wondered if
centered.
they
Yeah,
were,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I thought they might. So it's just the way that I've kind of done it has kind of sent them off to the left. But actually, I think you can still see how well this would work with these kind of, is it three? There's four images with almost like their own subheadings,
Hmm.
um, little bits of copy there. Again, I think really nice size copy. I guess it makes it for someone like you that's kind of, you know, busy and seeing a lot of these emails. Is it quite easy, yeah, then to consume?
Well, the other interesting thing is the biggest question or confusion that we have when working with clients, specifically in Monday.com, is listed in the top icon, and it's permissions and control.
That's
Us.
so yeah, I'm hoping that's intentional. Maybe that's something they've identified from, yeah, from customers like yourself, and then been like, that's in that top and center. That's clever. Yeah.
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 Now, the security piece also,
Mhm.
because we're getting closer to the end of 2025, usually, different security projects for like global and cybersecurity are on um, strategic plans for the year.
Okay.
So I think that is kind of like a tip to, hey, did you finish this yet? Did you finish this project? Choose us. Choose us, or
Well,
we'll make it
yeah.
easy with the enterprise grade security, right?
That's so interesting for both of those points because yeah, I come at it looking like as someone who doesn't use the platform or not in the industry, I come at it and go, "Oh, well, they're nicely laid out on that." But actually, there's even more thought behind it, it seems, than
Mhm.
just kind of, "Okay, we need to list some benefits and features of the platform." It sounds like they've been really
Mhm.
intentional. Um, and as we come down I guess as well, this is a really good benefit to have in here. I guess if you want a success manager, if maybe the enterprise feels a bit overwhelming. And then we go into kind of the how you can get enterprise and kind of the incentive they've got here. So these like the call to actions and the incentives. I'd be interested to know,
Right.
do they run discounts and incentives like this often? Or is this kind of like a rarity?
Probably for enterprise plans, but not for lower than that because on the lower plans, there's always a free trial,
Yeah,
right? The other
makes sense.
cool thing about Monday.com support specifically is like chef's kiss. So if you try it out and they give you a free 2 weeks, you can just email them and be like, yo, I haven't quite figured out if I want to do this or this yet. Can you please extend it? And they will. So the offers are usually for their bigger ticket items. For example, enterprise, let's give you X% off. Or they have different products. So they have a Monday CRM, they have a Monday work management, right?
Yeah.
So one of the offers when I log in right now is add another product to like
Okay, yeah.
your environment and get X% off. I don't remember what it
Yeah.
is because I was like, dismiss. I don't need any more products right now. Thank you. But yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah, so that is because actually then these are quite big discounts then if it's like something they only do on kind of like, yeah, you're not gonna get them too often.
Yeah.
What I think they do cleverly well, it's 2 things I think are quite clever here, is firstly, yes, you get the discount, but you kind of have to sign up for 24 or 36 months. So
Hmm.
you get that discount, but also they're getting it for something from their end, aren't they? It's not like you're gonna jump in and then kind of quit it after a year.
Abandoned ship.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly, and yeah, and the other thing I like is that it's had offer ends 1st of October, so, like, it's got that almost not urgency about it because I think you received this early October, but it's kind of,
Hmm.
okay, well, there's a limit on this, so you've gotta kind of
Yeah.
make a decision. Is
What's interesting from my point of view with the offers, 3 years and 2 years to be married to a tool is a very long time,
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
very long time with how quickly technology evolves.
yeah, good point.
So that's a it's a bold move. It's a bold move. That's a big, big decision.
Yeah, and that might be yeah, that might be part of the reason then that yeah, you get more discount if you stay longer, but yeah, it's a long time, you're right, in the kind of the life cycle of a business, isn't it? And like you say, technology, and also because 'cause you're relying on that platform to keep up with everything, and with AI kind of
Correct.
going crazy, you're having to put a lot of trust in to sign up for that. So on that actually, that's interesting because then
Mhm.
on the flip side, yeah, maybe these discounts aren't quite as steep as they should be because if you are gonna invest for that long, I guess if you know, 10% off or 15% actually isn't such a great deal when you put that kind of perspective into it.
You're we are on the same page.
Interesting
That's
point.
exactly where my mind was going.
I love that. And just from a really tiny design point of view, I love that this is in like a little grey
Yeah.
box to make it stand out. I often I often like all the T's and C's you get in the bottom here. I'm always like, "Oh, that's obviously just the
Yeah.
legal jargon." And I know obviously they have to put it in legally, they have to have some bits in there. But I actually think by doing it, it adds a bit of credibility to the emails as well, because in my brain, I don't know, this is a psychological thing, but your brain automatically goes, well, there's lots of T's and C's, so they've obviously got a legal department, they obviously know what they've got to do. Like, so it's almost like those tiny little things, a bit like, because I don't think necessarily they need to have this in the email. They need to have it obviously when you go through to payment and paying. But yeah, to have it there almost is like, okay, this is a legit offer because they've got all the legal bits. It kind of I think it's a psychological thing, perhaps. Trying
Well,
to
that
get what.
reminds me of the email tip that you just sent out a few weeks ago regarding the footer.
Oh yes, yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh, now I want to go down and see if they've got Fisher. They do have their
I know, I know. I was hoping you would.
always have your address in the fit. That's the thing, because there's only like two legal things. Like, well, obviously, like that. If you take a step back, you need permission-based email
Mhm.
marketing for like GDPR and can spam and all that. But with your actual
Mhm.
email, like when you're designing an email, you have to have your unsubscribe link and you have to have a postal address. You know, all the other things like people put in footers are, yeah, kind of optional. I mean, some of them are more nice to have, like a view in browser. So many emails take view in browser out, but that's actually quite good for like
Mhm.
accessibility. So yeah, but there's only those two things you legally need to have. But I think,
Interesting.
yeah, I think it sounds odd, but the more you have in there, like this with, like I said, with T's and C's, you build up all of that trust. Yeah, if you see someone doing something properly, it feels like, or not formally, but you know what I mean. If they're doing,
Like,
yeah,
it lends authority.
yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I was trying to say. So yeah, definitely, I kind of like having that in there. And again, on a really tiny, this is such a funny side note, but I was reading an article just the other day how these, like, the rounded edges on boxes, and you can see they've done it with the images as well. They've got ever so slightly rounded, images and boxes, and the
Huh?
buttons got rounded. I was reading an article the other day about how it's particularly a trend in SaaS emails, so these types of emails. If you look at, like, and I don't,
Really?
you're probably gonna notice it now whenever you go in your inbox and you get, like, emails from businesses like this. It's a trend there, but it's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
meant to signify almost like being a bit softer. Like, so because you're
Yes,
having
I was just going to ask you that.
yes, yeah,
Like, the tone of the email, if you read it, is very we already talked about who it's targeted to, right? So there's gonna be, like, that specific tone of voice, but that oh my it has to be psychological, like, 100%, right? And then there's this, like, "But I'm still your bestie. I'm still your bestie with these rounded corners."
yeah. It's
I
exactly
love
what you
that.
said, because it's kind of, and I guess a lot of these, like, yeah, SaaS brands are trying to, they wanna be formal and, like you said, have that credibility, but they also need to be seen as kind of, yeah, approachable, I guess is the word.
Easy to
Yeah.
work with? Yeah,
Yeah.
approachable. You're
Yeah.
right.
So I think that was quite interesting that, yeah, and you can see it throughout this email, yeah, like the images, and this block have all got like rounded corners, which I thought was, I don't know, it works really well. It's really subtle, but does work, yeah, quite well.
Love looking at this email and learning all of these cool design things that right? Like, Vicky looks at this email and sees this, 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 this. I look at it and I see these things. And then you're like, look at these rounded corners. I'm like, ma'am, what rounded what? Hold on. Hold on.
But that's
That's
the thing,
amazing.
you will have noticed them, but you won't necessarily have because we're coming at it from those different perspectives, you'll have probably, like, registered
Yeah,
with
yeah.
them, but not, like, thought, "Okay, well, why have they done that?" But that's why I love these conversations because then I get your perspective, like, on the discount, like, I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's a great discount," until you said, "Oh, actually not if you put it on that length of time." So that's why I think it's so important to look at it from, like, the people that are receiving them in their inboxes, as well as someone who's, like, trying to impress those people that are opening it in their inboxes.
I love it. I love it so much. I've learned so much, seriously.
And I guess my final question is, yeah, did you have anything else on here that we haven't necessarily talked about that kind of grabbed you, um, with this email or their emails in general?
I have a question for you, Miss Email
Yeah.
Design Queen, Miss Email Queen in general. All
What
right,
is
so
it?
in the first image,
Yeah.
there is a little a little picture of a person.
Mhm.
In the second image, there are more people. They're just
Yeah.
harder to see.
Yeah.
In the third image,
Oh, yeah. Should they put a
there
little
are
one?
people.
Yes.
In the fourth image, there's big old people.
And talk about
Do
things you
you
didn't
think
notice.
that
I didn't
is
spot that one, yeah.
like, do you think that's intentional? Because I can tell you right now,
Mhm.
you know, like admin permissions, no person's picture comes up in that box. That's just, an overlay. Same with like log into your account. But do you think that what is the word I'm looking for? That like personability, is that a word? Is that a word?
Yes and yes, I think you are hitting the nail on the head there because there is no reason for that image there to be there. Like, you take a screenshot for the login, and I guess it's and again, here, I don't think this one yeah, there's no need for that bit there to have this one is gonna have images on, and that one's nice, you're booking a call with someone, so that's nice to have a picture with.
Sure,
But
sure.
yeah, I think the fact that they've got them in all 4 and that 2 of the 4 didn't really need to have any person image in there, I think, yes, it would be 100% intentional because they're obviously trying to make you kind of see, like, yourself using the platform and kind of m making it more personable because it is I'm gonna sound really mean now, but it's not necessarily the most exciting
No.
thing. So it's kind of like, okay, I need
Oh,
to
100%.
yeah, I kind of is it another way of bringing people into it? Yes, and kind of happy, smiley people, people that are pleased with the platform. And I think all of these little points, like when you first open this email, you just go, okay, well, it's a headline and some copy and some images. But everything we've pointed out shows you how much work has actually gone into this. Like the way that the benefits that they've put in are intentional, the images they've used are intentional, the corners are intentional. So it's not like they've thrown this together. It's really cleverly put together. Um, but yeah, I think the now that you've said it, I hadn't noticed that one, but it's definitely an intentional thing they've done there. And it obviously made an effect, like an impact if you spotted it.
Just if I remember, because I am nowhere near being any sort of marketing expert, what are there are so many statistics with utilizing people in imagery, right? And the effects that that has. But that made me look at that and be like,
Yeah. That's clever.
okay,
Yeah.
yes,
No, definitely. Yeah, because I also think because we can all spot a stock image like a mile off, and some of these these little
sure,
these ones like the people are kind of they are just going to be stock headshots. But
sure,
if you get the right ones, like this lady smiling here, it's obviously not someone that necessarily works on their team, but if you get the right ones and they only need tiny ones here, they can work quite well. if you
Mhm.
kind of need to have those stock kind of images in. That's so clever, I hadn't noticed. I love that. See, look, you're teaching me as well. Ah.
I am totally going to, appreciate the layout of this email by creating a similar template.
And
Yep.
I want to see it. I think and I the other thing that I get that really gets me is again, another stat that you see out there is, like, people spend, like, 3 seconds or 8 seconds or whatever it is reading your emails, and I'm
Mhm.
like, it almost, like, breaks your heart a little bit when you kind of actually sit down and work out how much work went into these emails. And, like, I know that it's, like, you can spend hours and hours putting emails together like this, and it's, like,
Yeah.
so much work for kind of those, like, few seconds of it being read. Um,
Yes.
but I guess for them, it's quite rewarding, right? You know, they're gonna get people sign up, but it's also people like you are noticing these little things, which, yeah, makes the difference. Amazing, fab. Anything else you wanted to comment on?
What would you rate the email? On a scale of 0 to 10, what would you rate this email?
Oh, I'm gonna go quite high. I think probably
Okay.
an 8, 8.5.
Ooh,
I would lie to
nice.
you, I didn't the only thing I didn't check before we came on was to see if they had,
Mhm.
um, obviously alt text behind the images. So some of the without knowing some of the accessibility things, it's kind of difficult to say. But otherwise, from the design point of view and
Sure.
I think the layout and the amount of copy, I mean, there's tiny little tweaks. I think the only thing, um yeah, maybe the discount after you pointed it out. Maybe get in touch isn't the most convincing call to action ever, but that's like a tiny thing.
Mhm.
I think they do so well with the rest of the other copy. Yeah, I think I'd probably go 8.5.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for bringing this email to me and to us.
Thanks for having me,
Um,
Vicky.
would you
So much
please
fun.
Would you please share how people can kind of follow you or find you online?
Sure. So we have this incredibly riveting YouTube channel that I'm in love with, and that's at Path to Summit LLC, all one word. We also have Instagram, that's at Path to Summit. We also have a website that's being completely redone, but it's still beautiful and I love it. So it's all good. And that's www.pathtosummit.com. If you want to give us a shout, book a call to look into and audit your tools or get some potential coaching, that's going to be info@pathtosummit.com. Just email us. We're happy to get in touch with you. Wait, button, get in touch, right?
Gosh, I love you. Thank you so much for doing this.
You, Vicky, we have too much fun. We need to do this more.
Absolutely.
Seriously.